Metatalks continues with Alachia
Azixa.
and we're joined with Fate, and we're going to start a new little cool sort of episode, hopefully continuous, all about Doctor Who. And
Who?
yeah,
Who?
yeah, who dat? So
That.
that guy. And what thought we do is like I have never been into Doctor Who, nor did I ever think I would get into Doctor Who because I don't really like British TV at all, and
At all.
at all,
Sinner.
at all. So, but after having watched the part of the first episode of Doctor Who, the very first classic Who, 1963, I kind of was like, I could probably get into this because it's kind of very American movie classics, black and white, very traditional type of acting drama. So I could probably start from there and go. It's just the hokiness of the kind of British irony and cynicism that I don't really get. And also maybe I just have always like been kind of stubborn and just thought to myself that it's just too hokey for me to watch. But I did just recently watch the 50th anniversary episode. We went to go see that in the theater. So we thought we would just do like maybe a recording of us like doing commentary while we begin to watch the Doctor Who series. And everyone here seems to be on board with the idea of starting with episode 1, which is crazy, but we'll do it. So we're going to do a running commentary of all the episodes. Now, as you said, as you heard me say, Doctor Who for me is like kind of like I was always the geek who was always like, no, not a Doctor Who fan at all. But these two are the opposite. So I'm going to start with Zixa. So you are a Doctor Who fan, correct?
I am.
And when did you start watching?
I didn't start watching it until not the reboot, but the continuation in 2005. I'd always heard of it. I never really knew what to make of it, though a coworker back in 2002 at my old job, he used to tell me about it all the time. He's a little bit older than I was, and he would always tell me about the episodes all the time, and I was so fascinated by it, but I just never got around to checking out the old stuff. But yeah, he would be like, yeah, it's like science fiction, but it's like it's much more grounded in reality, and he said it's like they incorporate a lot of science, and so yeah, unfortunately I never got around to watching it until the 2005. Started watching it one day, shortly after it started, completely fell in love with it, even though that season's production quality was, in compared to the newer stuff, is pretty low. Very cheesy. But yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun to watch. And as I started watching more and more, the seasons go by, the story just kind of sucks you in. It's very well written, very clever. And I like it in particular because they reference a lot of stuff into from historical episodes. And there's a lot of things that build upon itself. So yeah, definitely an enjoyable series for me.
And you told me that you think it's has the best sci-fi in television, period.
I said that?
I think you said that.
Not the best, but I do enjoy what it brings to the table in terms of it's like this weird mix of retro and steampunk, but some of the episodes mix kind of future technology. It's like a blend. It's like an interesting blend of a bunch of different genres in one, lumped together. But they never go too Star Trek-y. They never go too sci-fi. But they do bring in a lot of interesting scientific sci-fi themes related to cloning and time travel. A lot of stuff based in quantum mechanics and things like that. So I find that part of it interesting, and their spin on it.
So you watched from 2005 onwards, so you've seen every episode of The New Who?
Yeah, I've seen every episode. And then during that time, I jumped around and watched some of the older stuff. And I watched the first 4 of the original, starting with The Impossible Child. So I did want to watch them all at some point.
Unearthly?
Unearthly Child. But I didn't get around to actually sitting down and going.
Yeah, that
So.
was... You're mixing the Impossible Girl with
Yes.
Unearthly Child.
Unearthly Child.
That Tom Hardy beer is real strong. All right, and so Fate, you started at 2005 as well, The New Who?
Well, I did insofar as that the giant chunk of The New Who was where I began. But like a friend of mine showed it to me deep into season 5 of the New Who with one of the Angels episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so the first season of Matt Smith on Who, the first of the 2-part Angels uh, 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 episode series is where I jumped on into it, and it was a little bit terrifying, to be fair. And so once I watched it and was like, Jesus, this was really, really intense. And so then I'm the kind of nerd where like I was like, all right, well, this is awesome, but I can't just begin here. So I jumped into the beginning of New Who and worked forward in a very like like this and this and this fashion. So a very straightforward fashion. So I jumped into the very beginning of New Who and worked forward all the way through it.
Okay.
So
So, but neither of you have seen any classic Who?
No, I just said I did.
You just oh well, yeah,
I
a
have
few
not.
episodes. Okay.
Yeah, I jumped around. I downloaded random episodes here and there, and then I watched the first original 4, but that was it.
Okay. And
So I got sidetracked though.
so like you like Fate, you've watched Star Trek and stuff like that, right?
correct.
Okay, so when you're watching Doctor Who, and is it something that you can actually watch and like take seriously because of the production quality is kind of a little off?
Well, it's I in my esteem, a British TV is much better than American quality, just because I personal reasons I enjoy British TV better than American production as well. Um, and so the Star Treks of the world versus the Who's of the world, I prefer the Who's not just because it's British, but because um, in terms of things like time travel and alternate realities, I believe Doctor Who in other British things do it better because um, they don't try too hard to explain the super science of it all. It's like to quote 10, it's like it's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. And Star Trek tries to explain it a lot, and here is our hard science, and that's where you lose me because I am a hard science person. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really work
Hmm.
all that well, actually.
Yeah,
And
sometimes
then
they try to get too detailed with it.
exactly,
You kind of it's distracting in a way.
yeah.
Um,
And Who is like, well, it's like a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey things,
Yeah,
which and I'm
but
like,
they do
yeah,
it.
yeah, that works.
But they do it in a very clever way,
Yeah,
which I like.
yeah.
yeah, so I'll be interested in seeing this because like from what I could tell, and Flip's the same way. We both looked at that and we are like, "You watch Doctor Who?" We're like, "Oh no, no, like that's
I,
cheeseball stuff." You know, because
I
like
lost I lost some points.
when we think of BBC, when we think of British television, we think of like wackiness. Death. What's it? The Blackadder. All those like comedy shows that I mean, they have a kind of a bit of a wit to them. So like to think that that could be applied to a sci-fi show seems weird to me. So I'll be very interested in kind of seeing that. I mean, when Voyager goes a little too, or Star Trek goes a little too, cheesy on me, I'm already cringing. So I can't even imagine what's going to happen
Yeah.
with Doctor Who.
Oh boy.
So this is going to be interesting.
It's interesting though that Fate said he started with the Angel episode.
Yeah.
And remember, I was telling you, Alatia, that a lot of the enemies or a lot of the villains in Doctor Who, they're not very scary. They're sort of like an ideal behind them. But I had forgotten about the angels, and that, yeah, like he said, that is some creepy stuff. It's done very well.
Hmm.
I would say that's probably the creepiest villain on Doctor Who by far.
Blink is awful and terrifying.
Yeah, see, it's going to be hard for me to like even fathom that, and I don't want to skip ahead and
Yeah.
like see
Yep.
it myself, yet and just write it off. So I will like.
Well, no, you have to
I'm
build up
gonna
to
build
it.
up to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'm gonna get myself into being like I'm gonna try. We're gonna start with episode 1, after we do the 50th anniversary episode, and then we'll see like if I can get into it. Because I think if I start out with it being like from the 1960s, then I can do a lot of forgiving, as you go up, and then kind of just get into the idea of Doctor Who and like what he's about, because I really I knew nothing about it. I mean, as soon as you say BBC to me, I write it off, right? So, but I'll say I've been listening to, I've been reading a lot of stuff. I've been listening to Zixa talk about a lot of the stuff, really cool episodes he talks about, like people trapped in dimensions, going to see the last day of the Earth. I mean, like some really cool stuff that sounds really amazing to me. So that's how I was like, you know what? I might actually, if I could just grasp onto it and get over some of the hokiness, I could probably really, really dig this as a sci-fi show, because I love space-time continuum stuff. And the episode that we're gonna do after this one, with the 50th anniversary, the Day of the Doctor, that's some awesome space-time continuum shit. I mean, like, amazing. So I was like, whoa, okay. And this wasn't the hokiness, the quip wasn't cheesy at all. It was done really well to me. So I was like, I'm going to give this a shot. So we're going to try this out. We're going to go ahead and do a little mini version of us doing commentary, running commentary. We're going to start with The Night of the Doctor, which is about a 6-minute video a precursor to the actual 50th anniversary episode. All right, so we're going to hit play on 1. So I'm going to start at 3, 2, and then we hit play on 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're starting the video off. We got, I was already confused at this point, by the way.
Crashing spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's crashing. The TARDIS is following her.
And police box spirals through.
Yeah, and she's just like, I thought she was a main character at first.
No.
Yeah, I didn't realize she's a nobody.
And then Paul McGann appears.
So the girl in question was she his companion? Do you know?
Nope.
Just some random
unknown spaceship pilot.
Okay.
And so why did he go to her specifically? I didn't understand that. Why he just shows up to her?
That's just
what he does.
What the Doctor does. Yeah,
he helps people.
Appears.
Well, he can't appear every time someone's in need.
He's like Space Jesus.
He's like Space Jesus Superman.
Exactly.
I was really confused when I saw that her ship was going down. I thought that he appeared all of a sudden because he was one of her companions, or she was one of his companions. So he just randomly
Doctor in between at the end of his special and when he became the Ninth Doctor. So
when they're entering this part of the ship and he sees this TARDIS in there, the TARDIS is in there. His TARDIS does it shrink and does it go in any place it needs to go? Or does it always must contain at least the normal TARDIS shape?
That I would think yes, that it would at least contain a police box size.
What are you asking? The TARDIS?
Yeah.
In the inside?
It just always seems to appear right where it needs to be.
Well, it's only a police box size on the outside.
Yeah.
The inside is infinite.
Yep.
Okay.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Way bigger than you realize.
Yeah.
So, in all the episodes, is that what he does? He just randomly appears in different places for no reason?
Not all of them, but
yeah.
He jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
And do you, if you've watched Doctor Who before, do you know who these old women are?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Upon first viewing.
I believe they do have a part in Old Who, but as I am unfamiliar with the ancient past of Old Who.
Yeah, same.
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, because they seem like oracles or something, and
yeah.
And then also, he's not supposed to die, right?
What do you mean?
How did he die from the crash?
Well, he just crashed and his body died.
But isn't he like immortal?
No. Well,
he's not completely immortal.
Yeah.
But if he takes mortal damage, he'll regenerate.
So that
if he's conscious enough to do it, I think.
Well, I mean, he still can die. I mean, he's not really immortal. He's just really, really old. His species is. But if he suffers a lot of like physical trauma, he'll die. But as each incarnation suffers enough damage, it can regenerate, but it that form can still be killed. So like in what was it, season 6 of the continuation is where he dies ish.
Dies-ish.
Yeah,
Ish.
it gets weird. It gets really weird.
So he's gonna die right now because his body's dead, and like, but he's gonna regenerate because he's.
He already
that's what-
died.
he already died. So
They brought
now.
him back, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, by the way, you're like 5 minutes to choose a thing."
Okay, so that's what the 5 minutes. See, I thought like it was gonna be
Yeah.
5 minutes, and then he was just gonna disappear into nothingness. But it's
Well,
before he
if-
shapeshifts again,
If,
No, they gave
if
him
he
a
didn't
choice.
choose,
Mhm.
yeah.
or
If
not
he didn't
shapeshifts, but
choose, it
regenerates.
was like, well, if you don't choose, it just die. Is my idea. Of what
Well, if he doesn't choose, then he doesn't get to decide like what type of doctor he gets to be next, right? It's
It's
he
just
could
random.
Be, yeah, it's random. He could be quirky. He could be
Yeah.
a scholar.
yeah.
So in this case, she's trying to convince him to be a
Hey,
warrior
choose a thing.
warrior doctor. But
Yeah.
why do these people care whether or not the Time Lords and the
Because
Daleks?
the Time War was super devastating, actually.
To the whole universe,
Yeah, exactly.
and it raged on for like millennia.
Yeah.
And the Daleks were just destroying everything, and they were pretty much undefeatable.
But how come they're just contained to Gallifrey then?
They aren't.
They aren't.
They aren't.
So
They were
they're-
just trying. They were trying to destroy Gallifrey, but they're
Yeah.
they're pretty much everywhere, right?
They're everywhere. Yeah.
In that galaxy.
Yep.
And so, why was the war, in particular, destroying the galaxy?
What do you mean?
Well, wasn't it just the Daleks that were trying to destroy the galaxy, or is it because they were
Well-
fighting that was destroying the galaxy?
What the Daleks and Time Lords can, like cross through time, and so as they are, like fighting one another, they can jump through time and destroy all of time. So,
Oh, okay.
like this has to end because it's going to destroy everything.
They were just
And so these witches understand that only this man can stop the entire war
But why him? There are many other Time Lords.
because that's what the writers
What?
wanted. I don't know.
No, my understanding was all the other ones were too stuck in their ways, and they wouldn't mess with time in that way.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's really.
Doctor Who was more rebellious, and that's why he ran away.
Yeah, it's true.
And he ends up doing a lot of things, to mess stuff up,
Yeah.
which he regrets.
Yep. Kind of.
Yeah. So when I first watched this is really confusing because I was like, that was actually my first intro into Doctor Who. That was the very first thing I've ever
Yeah, it's
seen.
the very first thing you ever watched,
The
and you're
very
like,
first
what?
thing I was like, what? Who? All I know is like all I saw was that John Hurt was gonna be in it, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, John Hurt.
I love John Hurt
That
so
was
much.
the impetus.
That was the only reason I was gonna watch it. And then like I started watching I watched this mini episode, and I was really confused. But then I started asking like, well, what's going on exactly? And then like the stuff about the war seemed interesting to me. But again, I guess maybe I do like more of the technical things. Like I want to know how, like, are they ripping through space time and messing up, like the parallel universes, and like, is it just gonna make the whole galaxy universe explode? I mean, like, and also
you want the details of the war, or just what he does in general?
I think I was confused because I didn't understand like why he in particular had to stop the war. Out of all the people, things, creatures, whatever beings in the universe.
Because he's awesome.
Because he was the one willing to. I think they surmised he was the one that would be willing to do it.
That's fair.
Well,
Because later in later episodes, you encounter Time Lords, and they're very like stuck in their ways and stuffy, and they refuse to break the status quo.
Or evil in the case of the Master.
Or there's one who's batshit crazy evil.
oh,
God, that's awesome. An awesome season 2.
Yeah. So there's that as well.
Yes.
so, and he becomes this doctor who ends up fighting in the war, but it takes him X amount of time to figure out how to end the war?
Apparently, yes.
Oh, okay. Because
Because
he's young in this episode. And when this episode
The
ends,
war
he's
hasn't
young.
actually been shown in any thing until the anniversary special. So
Yeah, they were always really vague about it because he would never
Yeah.
talk about it. He was just
Yep.
always scarred
exactly.
by what happened.
And
He would mention little things in passing all throughout the entire series, but like you never got a full picture until the day of the Doctor as to like what he had to come to terms with.
Yeah.
That was pretty much just wiping out the entire galaxy.
okay, I'm going to ask a really stupid question now. What's the difference between a galaxy and a universe?
Okay, so we have the solar system,
Mm-hmm.
which is our however many planets. They keep changing it because Pluto's a bastard. The galaxy includes what? How many different solar systems?
A lot.
A lot, like a lot. And then the universe is made up of like how many galaxies are there? 26, 46, something
It's
that we can see.
a lot.
I'm
a
trying to
lot
think.
and a lot and a lot.
I mean, our universe. We are assuming is essentially infinite. I think we
Yes.
can see between 20 and 40 galaxies, which are I forget how many like solar systems and individual bodies are within a galaxy. So you have like little solar system. You have like probably thousands of those in a galaxy. Galaxy is just a big cluster of stars and planets, and then in between that is like pretty much like space. In between the space in between galaxies is like so vast, like it's just like it's mind bending. And so, but we can't even imagine how many galaxies are in the universe, and the universe is essentially infinite.
And the reason I ask that is because you guys keep saying that they're about to destroy their own galaxy. Is that correct?
That's what they said the weapon has the power to do, destroy the galaxy.
Well, who
A
cares?
galaxy
It's just one
eater.
galaxy then.
That's one galaxy.
But there's like so many.
It's still a lot of people and things in that galaxy.
You know.
It would
oh,
still be an atrocity. Think the Holocaust, but across many, 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 many planets.
Yeah, like you've never
Nobody
seen Stargate.
wins.
So it's hard to give you like an estimate of like what would be happening because you've never seen Stargate.
Yeah.
Because like Stargate happens all within one galaxy, which is like thousands of worlds, thousands of like different people until they go to Atlantis, which is in a whole nother galaxy, and that's just like But it's just it's thousands and thousands of planets.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the galaxy called in Doctor Who's verse? Do you know?
That Gallifrey resides in?
Yeah.
Well, it's not ours, so I have no idea.
Okay. And so everything within Doctor Who is within that galaxy. Only.
What do you mean everything?
Doctor Who as a whole.
No.
No.
Because
No.
it crosses all of time and space and everywhere.
In reality, into
So
the
then
dimensions.
if that's the case, then why wouldn't his disruption and the Daleks' disruption of the galaxy within their own galaxy, moving between time and space to other galaxies, not disrupt the whole universe, not just...
Well, it does.
Oh, okay.
It does. And that's why in the initial incarnation of the Ninth Doctor, it was established that he traps the Time Lords and the Daleks in like a pocket universe where like you can't damage anything more else ever. So it's all trapped, and then as the series goes on, I think it's in series, what is it? 4? I think it's 4.
Tennant?
Yes. It's a Tennant era Doctor where the Time Lords escape from that pocket universe, and awful
that's
things
right.
happen, and then
Yeah, they do.
a Tennant dies ish. He initially traps the Daleks and the Time Lords in a pocket universe where they will always be battling each other forever, which I believe is the memory in the special.
Mm-hmm.
I was just on there. And then eventually they escape and do awful things.
Okay, so actually, it's not just the galaxy that's at risk; it's the entire existence of the
Yeah.
universe. Okay,
Correct.
okay, that makes more
Okay.
sense to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I was underplaying the vastness here. Here, I just looked something up real quick because it's been like forever. There are 70 sextillion stars in the known universe that we know of, and 300. Oh shit, where'd it go?
The universe.
Hold on, hold on. There are 300 billion stars in just our Milky Way galaxy. 300 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy. So there's that.
It's a lot of stars.
But there's also 300 more billion outside of our galaxy, probably.
Well, there's way more than that.
Exactly. So what we're just like our galaxy is just a smidgen compared to the universe, right?
What are you talking about?
Well, when I was that's why I was confused at first because it was like, well, to me, I guess maybe I'm underplaying it too, but I was just thinking like, oh, so the galaxy goes, it gets disrupted. Who cares? I guess I guess people who are self-preserving will say yes, that's a very big deal. Like, but to me, I guess being a nihilist is like whatever, like. Universe goes down, whatever. So one galaxy out of a whole universe doesn't seem like a big deal to me.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
we have what? We have 300 billion stars, but I guess in the known universe that we know of, there's how many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 7 with 22 zeros after it. That's a fucking lot.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. Just wipe it out. Fuck 'em. There's more.
Who cares?
Who cares?
He
Who
does- he
cares?
does
Who
care, though.
cares? Yes, he does.
Yeah, exactly. He does.
Yes,
care.
I guess in the name of self-preservation, in the name of like what we value as life, yes, okay, I get it. But when you're talking
Yeah.
about space-time continuum, it doesn't seem like that big a deal, I guess. Especially like when you think of things like MIB, where like there's a whole freaking galaxy and some cat's like leash collar or whatever. I mean, like it just seems to me like it's not that big a deal actually. Like that they would
Well,
need
you know-
to.
Your fan fiction is crossing over.
The interesting thing that about what you say there is like, what does it matter? Because like, it's going to come to an end, and like the Doctor's been pretty much all through space and time, and you kind of get that when he brings like this is like when one of the first episodes he brings Rose to see the end of the Earth, like
Yep.
the destruction of the Earth, like where I told you about it,
Mhm.
and it's just like it kind of like hits you where like he's pretty much seen everything. And how does he keep going when he knows like everything's going to end, and, like everything's
Well-
going to die? Because she was like she could hardly take it.
Yeah. Especially in the end of last season where he sees his own grave and he gets really, really upset about it. And then, in fact, in the anniversary special, he actually says to Tennant, like, we're going to Trenzalore. We don't really want to go there, but, that's where we're going.
Mhm.
So, like,
Trenzalore.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I've seen
yeah.
where we're
Yeah.
going, and it's grim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
And he's like, eh.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't.
I guess when you're talking about, he's only 1,000 years old, right? Not even. He said like
1200 and
906.
Well,
yeah.
No, 1,002.
Yeah,
These
Tennant
are
is only like 900 and something, but like 10
1,000
is or actually
1,200 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
a lot. That's a lot
Yeah.
of time.
I mean,
Exactly.
not really. Not when we're talking about universe, right? Because
Well, it's a lot
2000
of time,
like
but
that.
also think about the fact that you're able to see anything and go anywhere. On top of it,
that's true.
Yep.
That's
like
true.
what's left to surprise you?
Yeah. So why would dying be a grim thing then? Because like,
Well, he
You've
seems
seen
to
it all.
he seems to
can't
very
see it.
much enjoy life.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So this is I've got to keep embracing the celebration of life stuff. So.
Yes, yes, pretty much.
Man, Doctor Who's gonna be hard for me to like watch. Okay, so the next episode we're gonna record, we're gonna do the 50th anniversary episode. We're gonna do basically what we did here. We're just gonna do kind of like running commentary. We might go a little bit off track here and there, but we'll be talking about things that occur. I'll have a lot of questions to ask, of course, because very new to Who, and I'm sure I'll have a lot of answers. And then if it spurs more conversation, we'll just roll with it. If you have any comments about it, any suggestions after watching this one, before we record the next one, I would love to hear about it. You can email us at metatalkspodcast@gmail.com. I'm at Alachi on Twitter, and Azixa is at Azixa. Oh, I think did we pause a little bit? Okay. Yeah. Hi. Are we red?
Camera is not really working. out.
Holy
Well,
crap!
You are.
Whoa!
Oh
Damn!
God! What is happening?
Was that a crazy slingshot of like bandwidth? Wow. Okay. That was crazy.
Awesome.
Screw the universe!
What the F was that? My camera like exploded.
Oh God, it is. Oh wow. Okay, is it catching up now to our current time? It's like
Yeah,
it's
I
like
can hear you guys. I can hear you guys.
it's like time is trying to catch up. It is so.
We got stuck in a pocket
Darn
universe.
We did. We got stuck in a pocket universe. That was fucked up. Okay. All right. So where was I? Okay. Yeah. I'm at Azix on Twitter and no.
You are.
No, I am.
We
Stop
can't-
stealing my identity.
We came out of the pocket universe all wrong. Oh my God. Okay.
And now our video is all fully. It's
We have
strange.
warped reality.
That was really weird. Okay, so now that I'm no longer a Zixa. All right, I'm at Alachi on Twitter. You can get a Zixa on Twitter and Fate. Are you Fate on
I am
Twitter?
at Fate 3000.
Fate 3000. Okay.
There's a lot of them.
Yes, there are apparently. And I am really bitter about it.
All right. So until next time.
Bye, guys.